welcome to the Strain After Show here on the TheStream.tv fan show network. I'm your host, Sinead DeFries, and joining me as always are my fabulous, awesome co-hosts over here on my left.
Hi guys, I'm Stephanie Gray. Is it just me, or I thought the master was a little scarier tonight? I thought he creeped me out. He said a bunch of stuff I couldn't understand as usual, but I liked it. Overall, good episode.
Yes, I agree, Steph. And over here on my right...
Hello, everyone. It's me, Jonny McGovern. And remember, if you really need cigarettes, it's okay to send a child out into a vampire apocalypse to pick them up from a store that may or may not be open and filled with vampires, as long as you get your cigarettes, miss.
Ding.
Yeah, exactly.
Tip of the week. And
Wow.
Also, tonight we have our guest host joining us again over here.
Hi guys, how's it going? My name's Jack. It's a pleasure to be back, of course. And I'm going to say, I don't know about you, but this is the most interesting set of vampire slayers I've ever seen in my life. There's no Buffy, there's no Blade, but we've got Ephraim and Nora. See how it turns out.
Yeah, I don't miss Buffy.
I don't miss Buffy.
miss Buffy. No.
It's the guys versus gals edition of the Strain After Show. Male viewpoint, ladies viewpoint.
I know, this is great. This is wonderful.
Let's strain it out.
I know, right? And we have guys and girls on separate sides.
Totally.
Yes.
This is how it
It's a
goes.
war.
This is a much more masculine side. We're the vampire hunters. You're more the scientists.
We're the vampire players. We like to date our vampires.
When we're so much better than Buffy. All right, anyways, tonight we have an awesome show for you guys, and we have some really big news towards the end, so you're gonna want to stick around, okay? And right now as well, we are, every single week, we have the live show going on YouTube on the TheStream.tv's channel, and you guys can always go online and like weigh in and comment and all that good stuff. There's so many live viewers, and your comments during the show, we're getting them in. We love to hear it. So definitely just hop on there and like tell us what you're thinking, tell us about the episode, and also you can also go on Twitter and use the hashtag TheStrainAS for the Strain After Show as well. All right, you guys ready to get started?
Let's do it.
All right, so nothing happened in this episode, just kidding. Ephraim meets the freaking master, you guys.
Ah, that was the sound that we made when the master showed up, because this episode had been so snoozy. But then, master!
I didn't call that either, you guys. I was actually
no.
surprised. I was
Yeah.
like, there
Yeah.
he comes out of nowhere, and it's like a 5-minute long scene. He's holding Ephraim, saying a bunch of what the heck was he saying? What the heck was he saying?
And Ephraim probably tried to kill him. I think it was 3 times in the space of like 10 seconds, and everything. The vampire was like, nah, don't try it. Don't even think about it.
Yes, and the master was giving a honey in the most subtle way.
right.
The master was
Such a
like,
boss.
don't try it. I don't think so. That's not going to work. Look at my rings.
All of this while he's holding him by his throat.
Yeah, all he's holding
man.
in mind is Lee press on nails of death.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, we go down and like this whole scene was huge, right? And it was long and so detailed, but I 100% did not expect to see the master come and he just showed up.
Just reveal himself.
Mind
Like,
you-
hey guys, I'm the master.
Like, hood
What's cracking?
master.
You've been hunting me. Now I'm here.
And-
Give up.
I did not notice this before, maybe because it was so fast, but he had like this giant mouth that went up to his ears. I thought that was eerie and
He's like
creepy.
he's constantly grinning.
Yeah,
like
it
always
was creepy.
smiling at you when
And then
he's
he's like,
coming
I
at you.
ruined your life and I'll ruin it more. And I was like, how? You have every member of his family. Nora, he could take Nora.
Yeah. And you know what was great is the beginning of the episode started with yeah, it was a little boring. But you know, they were obviously working on these UV bombs, and we're all like, dude, we can't wait to see these things freaking work. It's gonna be awesome.
And it took an hour to see
It
them
did.
work.
I know, it did.
Jack called it though. I thought.
Yeah.
Like, UV bombs coming, darling. UV bombs in a minute, darling.
You saw him at the beginning, and they made this tiny little invention that was so pathetic. It, had
Yeah.
like, it looked like a Christmas light. You'd hang it outside your house on Christmas or Halloween, whatever
Yeah.
you want to do. And they're like, right, let's see how this works. You get all built up and
Yeah.
Yes.
Little did we know it's really an atom bomb.
Yeah, it's huge,
exactly.
and you know it revealed also like this nest of vampires too. And I think now we can like start speculating, like the master's hanging out down there. Does he just have like an army of vamps all the time around him.
Apparently, but also, what were they worshiping? Were they worshiping the master? Was he in the center? It looked like they were worshiping like, a fire pit.
Were they feeding off
wasn't
each
sure
other?
what that was. At the end, there was
know.
like a big bubbling
Yeah.
something in the
Yeah.
middle.
I'm telling you, it's a mating
Like a
circle.
master
Like anacondas when they all one
Yeah.
like female and 500 males.
Ugh.
Same
For
kind of
sure.
thing. All these pincers going around.
Or maybe
everywhere.
maybe that's kind of like a sense, or not like what feeds them in a way. Like maybe that we have never
energy.
seen that before.
Yeah.
Don't know, but we do know that the master was, like you said, a little scarier
thought
today, but still was giving me kind of like a Muppety,
Yeah.
like
little bit.
janky kind of. I know Guillermo del Toro does his own specific look of creature, but the
Is that-
master's still not frightening me that much.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like he's a drunk drag queen on like maybe a Saturday night, like
Yeah, have you
coming
seen
out of
those
the club
rings,
like
honey?
ruined, you know,
Yeah,
like manicure
yeah.
done that day
Yeah.
awfully.
Well, I
like-
think he definitely looked a little bit scarier, so hopefully he'll just get scarier and scarier because right now he's not as terrifying as we all hope. That's the point. The whole point is we all want the master to be scarier.
Well,
Real
it's pretty
scary.
terrifying. If that came flying into your room in the middle of the night, you'd shit yourself.
It's true.
I mean,
it's a good
that's
point.
true.
What do we
Yeah,
really
like
expect?
He wears a cape. He's
Yes.
8 foot tall. He can pick you up with one hand, and
Right.
he's the master of all
His
evil.
mouth goes.
Just because you don't look scary, don't mean he's not scary.
Yeah.
true.
Well, he definitely is scary, so I guess we can agree to that.
I
He's
want
scary.
more scary, less Muppet. It
Yeah.
just needs to be better.
More
Okay,
scary, less
okay.
Muppet. I can live
All
with
right,
that.
yeah, you guys let us know too what you think about the master because you guys have been really vocal about that over the past couple weeks, and I love it because, like Jack said, like he is scary. And I saw somebody had posted a great tweet about all the things that he has done so far, and like this whole thing with Kelly now makes him terrifying in that sense. But let us know on Twitter using the hashtag #TheStrainAS. And right now we want to give a shout out real quick to you guys who are awesome. The first one goes to @StrainAddicts and @MastersMinions. My Twitter blows up every single Sunday from you guys, so thank you so much because your theories are awesome. Yeah.
I like someone named their Twitter Master Minions. It's like, let's take the worst thing in the world, the strain, and let's combine it with Despicable Me and it's a Master Minion.
I mean, that word existed before Despicable Me.
What,
No, it
Master
didn't.
Minion?
No, it did
Wow.
not.
It's just now you can't
Yes.
think of minions as being scary.
So
Wow.
we now know who the brains of this
That was
are.
like the fluffiest version of Master's Minions. Just like
Almost
Despicable
like
Me.
Me.
Let's get back to the string.
Yeah,
shall we?
all right, okay. So now so we go back to the beginning of the episode. I know we have to talk about it.
We have to do it just like the strain did. We can say, and 32 hours later, right? Or 32 hours earlier.
Earlier, that was it.
Because we got the most important thing. The master showed up. Now
Right.
we'll go back in time to the more boring part.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so the biggest journey I think we've seen so far happened in tonight's episode where Vasily, Abraham, Nora, and F go underground. They start this whole, like, freaking
Search,
vampire hunt, but they're
Yeah.
only searching for the master.
Yeah.
They're only searching for the master.
And I felt like he was kind of searching for Kelly. F was kind of searching for Kelly.
He has his own motives.
He's
going
got
on
his
right
own. He
now,
also has
yeah.
his own hearing
Delusions,
things, delusions,
tyrannies.
hallucinations.
Yeah.
I mean, annoying characteristics. I've never found F more annoying than I have in this episode. Every time I see him and Nora, I want to be like, shut up, do you get it?
let him get
Just
on
do
with
it.
it.
It's like, ugh. And
So
you
much
know,
food.
hug your son before you maybe go
Right?
die.
Before you maybe
You know,
go die.
he's such a cold father, and also he has one thing, even though it's a vampire apocalypse, he has his wig stylist on lock. Because his wig was doing as much acting as he was this
Yeah.
week.
No, I
His
know.
wig was on point tonight. You're right. He was.
It was
really
wigging
good.
out.
But no, you're
Wigging
right.
out.
I think like we are made to believe that F is such a great father. But would you ever really leave your kid, like your only child, just leave him in a city that everybody's turning into vampires? I feel like that was
hard,
shocking
yeah.
to me.
Well, he told his son what to do. He's like, stay in the basement. You're gated. You're locked up. There's guns. There's knives. You're in a fortress. They were his words.
Yeah, but I
This
think
place
it's
is a
who he left
fortress.
him with.
Yeah, leave
you know?
him with a
Someone
lady-
who would never be
Yeah.
able to
Do
protect
anything.
him in any sense.
No, you're right, and that's why he wanted bringing up. He asked Nora to stay with him.
That's what I was just gonna say. He tried to like rope Nora into it. He's like, Nora.
Hey, you want to be my baby mama?
Yeah, he's like, I'm so worried about
He's like,
you.
my wife got strained.
I love you so much.
So I'm going to do you on the floor and then now
Nora,
you can look after my son.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He was like in an effort to protect her. He was basically like, Nora, you should stay. One of us, we're not meant to be warriors. One of us should really stay. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And then Nora's like, I don't want to stay. And then she left. And then he's like, great, no one's there to protect my son.
Yeah.
So that's what I think.
Yeah, Nora, next time when you decide that you can't stay and watch the kid, maybe slip your mom a Tylenol PM so she doesn't cause so much trouble as she did in this episode.
And make
her
sure she has cigarettes. Like, come on.
Lock her in a room.
I mean, I don't
give her
know.
the keys.
They're going through a lot of stress and anxiety. Really needed that freaking cigarette, you guys. But whatever. Point blank, Ephraim was annoying as hell this episode.
Annoying as hell.
But,
Yes.
Second place, Nora, also annoying.
Also
like,
annoying.
Nora, you could have stayed or whatever, or you just get rid
Make
of your
yourself
mom.
useful.
Look after your mum and look after the son.
Yeah.
Like, just
Right.
do that part.
Yeah.
There's nothing sexist about Nora staying
No.
around for a little bit. You can go kill vamps later.
But really quick, before we kind of get to a really good part of this episode, and that's Kelly, when Ephraim was downstairs, not downstairs.
Downstairs in the subway?
He was downstairs at the subway. When he was underground, the master really, really used Kelly in this episode, which I think that we were all really excited for. We wanted to see how Kelly was going to come into play, but he was totally tricked because it was like this perfect sounding
Decoy.
voice,
But
so
Abe seemed to know. Abe knew what was up.
Well, he just was like,
don't follow
don't
the
listen.
voice.
Don't listen.
Yeah, so I'm like, I guess that's a trick he uses quite often,
Well, I mean,
Master.
like, why would she even know that he was down? Why would she be calling out for him? Like,
Exactly. We all got
Why did
it.
F believe that? Why was like, oh, she could be here? No,
Well,
that's
you
not
know
where
what?
she was, dude. Like,
This
she's not
was-
there calling out for you.
Yeah, of course not. This was the episode where we really got to see like this back to this family drama thing. The search for Kelly,
The search for
honestly,
Kelly.
Yeah.
kind of revealed back to that in the beginning of the show. Remember, we would get so annoyed because it's like, why do you care so much? All of a sudden, like it's like back and forth. Sometimes he cares about her, sometimes he doesn't, you know? But this episode was like weird because it's almost harder for me to trust his like intentions.
now,
And
and
I don't trust his instinct between him hearing the voices, him
Yeah.
thinking that random zombies are Kelly. He was like, oh, is that Kelly? No, it's not Kelly. Get your SHIT together.
yeah.
Exactly.
Everyone.
He's
Yeah.
losing his
He's losing
Yeah.
it.
shit.
Along with Abe, all of my heroes, you guys. Vasili's the only one who seems to be keeping it together, making
That's
jokes.
because all he wants to do is kill. Like, all he wants to do is kill him. So that's
Yeah.
his objective.
Yes.
I'm gonna go out and kill him. So I'm gonna go out and kill him.
And he doesn't have like people he loves.
Yeah, he's got it
true.
sorted. He's completely
Yeah.
got it down. It's like, right, we need to kill these people, and then we need to kill the master. That's how I'm going to save the world. Abe's got this old grudge against the master, so the only reason he wants to kill him is so that he can say, I killed you. And F's busy looking for Kelly now, and
Agreed.
everyone's too distracted. It's just...
And that's the summary of the show.
They all need therapy. There's
Yeah.
a lot of issues going on, and maybe Nora should
They
be the
just
one
need
down
to
in the
talk to
subway
someone.
because F is hearing
You
too
know
many
what?
voices.
All I'm gonna say is Mrs. Martinez is starting to look like the normal one.
You're right.
Yeah, all she wants is cigarettes. I'm feeling her.
Yeah.
In that amount of stress level, all you need is a cigarette, and that's it.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. All right. Okay, so earlier I mentioned that you guys can get on YouTube and weigh in with your comments and questions. And during tonight's episode, we had a couple people really giving us some good stuff, and we want to say thank you to James Lennox, Embrewa Jones, and John Gabriel. Thank you.
Hey.
Hey, thanks, guys. Gage
Vamping.
Vamping.
Bam. All right. We're gonna switch gears. My favorite person on this entire show,
boyfriend?
my boyf. He had a really, really tough.
Emotional episodes of week
Gus-
live. Yeah.
Gus had a really tough day. It was a tough day for Gus.
Let's all have a moment for Gus.
And Sinead, who
And
is
Sinead.
still mourning for Gus. I'm still mourning for him.
Yeah, but
Gus-
it's like I
Go,
can't really
Gus.
complain because he's one of the few men, because F sure is bad crier. I like to watch Gus cry. I think he's like good at it. He's still attractive. F on the other hand, when he was crying back in the day at his AA meeting, I was like, don't cry.
Because
Also,
a man
don't
that
have
when
sex.
he's crying isn't good.
Yeah, and plus when we've seen Gus cry, first of all it's for his brother, and it's like you see that and you're like, I have a sister. I don't even have a brother, but it's just.
But you could relate.
I
Yeah.
can still relate. Anyway, it's like, dude, I wish I could just cuddle you and just like you're gonna be
Yeah.
fine.
Someone
I promise.
tweeted and said, "Give Gus a hug." I'm like, we
Give Gus
want
a hug. We
to.
want to. We're all
Oh, yeah,
here.
I want to. Honestly, though, that scene was one of my favorite scenes. I definitely think that, like, the best. He's very like just being an actor. Like he's a good actor.
good actor.
He's great.
For sure.
You know,
Yeah.
I believe him when he's sad. I believe him.
I
But
know. And then he had a quick freaking recovery though. 1 minute he's crying, the
Right.
next he's got his axe.
yeah,
He's ready
and
to
I
go.
believed it. Like
I
I
did
believed that
too.
somebody could get over it in that sense because he kind of manned up. Like he's a badass. Like,
He
he's a
chose a
badass.
logical choice. He's like, Mum, I love like seeing his mum in that closet must have been heart wrenching
Of
for
course.
him. Couldn't even imagine that. But the fact that they implied that he didn't kill her. I guess is that a nice thing, or is it? Do you want to be the one to put your mother out of that misery?
Yes,
Or do
kill
you
the mom
leave her?
vamp.
Yeah, for me,
I'm team kill the mom.
Yeah, for me, I think that was the only negative part about that scene, was that he never ended up killing his mom.
He doesn't need to. I think in my opinion, I'd
mean,
say
she's
his
gonna have
mum-
to die
No,
eventually.
she's
Team
already
save
dead.
mom.
She's already dead.
She's already
If you think
dead.
about it, it's
No,
not
she's
her
not. She's gonna
anymore.
go kill people.
She's just the shell that looks like his mum.
Yeah. Well, I
She's
mean,
not
so
kill,
dead.
so you have to kill her.
Just let
Why am
her
I getting
go.
so into this?
I know.
Yeah, no, right.
Calm down, Steph.
I mean,
you
no.
get a baseball bat, you get an axe. Both be the cool ways that Gus killed people tonight. Because I would lie. If I was killing a vamp, I would take a baseball bat, just like Gus, and shove it in their mouth.
That was fun.
Shove it in their mouth.
We have clearly established that us, would be, for sure, the best vampire killers out there.
Yes.
We wear our
Absolutely.
silver suits,
We'll silver
get our
armor.
guns, get our UV lights. Thank you for catching on the strain, finally, to taking your UV lights
Right?
everywhere.
Well,
Thank
the
you.
strain, honestly, if there's anything we've learned from the strain, it's how not to search for vampires.
Exactly.
Or just how not to take a
Seriously.
long time searching for
And
vampires.
what weapons? Axes are always going to come in handy.
Yes.
Because you know that Gus went in and was like, I can't kill you with this bat, Mom. And then he went and found an axe. Now,
Yep.
I thought maybe that meant he was going to go kill the mom
Go
with an
back
axe
to it.
and chop her head off, because that's a nicer way to do it.
Speaking
Yeah, I
of
guess.
chopping heads off, when Gus chopped off the landlord's head and it
Just
rolled
in
down
one?
the stairs, that was an
That
incredible
was a great
scene.
episode. That's when the episode started to get good. As
Yeah.
soon as that head
I'm like,
started to
oh
roll.
shit, there's heads rolling. We're getting somewhere. But
Yes.
yeah, and then he sees Zack at the convenience store. He's like, vamos, get the hell out of here.
Yeah,
and you
legend. Well
saw it
played
in
for
his
that.
face. You had mentioned Stephanie. Stephanie was like, he's
got-
going through something.
Yeah. I love what Jonny said, though. Jonny's like, of course the convenience store is going to be open.
I know that when
The
they were
corner store.
when he was like, I'm gonna go out, like all of New York is falling apart. That girl
And
in the
they end
street
up-
is like, do you have any service?
No!
Do you have service? And he's still like, sure, the store will be open and chock full of cigarettes.
Oh, I forgot my fake ID. How am I going to buy the cigarette?
Yeah.
Sinead pointed out to Sinead, okay, meanwhile, vampire apocalypse is going on. Sinead's like, but he's too young to buy cigarettes.
How's he going to get? How's he going to get?
I get carded for lottery tickets, you guys, because everyone says I look so young.
'Cause you
but
are
this
young,
little
you gotta admit
kid just thinks it's okay. But maybe, I don't know, maybe Zack's smart and already knows that everyone's crazy and he could
The
have
world
stolen
is
them.
falling apart. You can slip. I'm surprised there were cigarettes left at the store.
Yeah, that's what we were
'Cause
saying. There was more-
everybody would be smoking like crazy
Did
out
you
of the
see when them
stretch.
two came in? They were picking up bananas. I'm
I
like, that
know.
would be one of the first things I go for if I broke into a convenience store. Bananas, good source of potassium,
Yeah,
carbohydrates. Like cigarettes are still
We
there.
thought that we
know.
were meeting two brand new characters. Maybe
I
we
was
were going to take care of
excited.
Zack
Yeah.
until
They
went,
died.
Damn! Right away.
They died like 5 seconds later.
They did.
Best
but-
thing though about that scene is
Yeah.
I really like that Zack teamed up with Gus, and I feel like now that they've
They
met,
didn't team up.
That
no,
split
you're-
second, they
Well,
were
it's like
"What's
Batman
up? What's
versus
up?"
Superman. You know what I mean? Like, you know they're going to team up
Robin
later.
versus-
That's
Yeah.
it. I feel like now Gus is going to be introduced into the army via Zack.
Yeah.
Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Well, we'll
That's
see.
fair.
That's a
fair.
prediction.
We'll
if I'm wrong,
see.
it's embarrassing.
I mean, we know Gus isn't going anywhere, so that's really good. But speaking of Zack and going back to Mrs. Martinez, at Forever Johnny Boy had tweeted earlier that the scenes with Mrs. Martinez are actually extremely hard to watch.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, oh my gosh, she's crazy at first, you know, like, but then I really did feel for her the second time around after Ephraim had abandoned his only son. I really did feel for her the second time, you know?
I think that has a lot to do with the actress playing that role. It is pretty good.
Yeah.
And they keep tricking us with stuff with the mom. We thought at the end maybe they had a long pull of the back of her and we were all like, she's vamp!
She's been turned, Zack, get out of there!
But no, she's just a whole crazy Alzheimer's mom anyway.
We're like the dumbest viewers ever. We like fall into all the producer traps.
Oh, yeah.
We did.
Hands
I mean,
down.
they were, you know what, they must have known that it was a little bit slow of an episode because they kept flipping the tricks at the
There's
second half of the
every
episode,
twist
right?
they could have twisted,
Yeah.
they twisted and twisted it
I mean,
again.
honestly though, because when Gus went home, that's how we saw his brother. His brother turned around slowly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when Zack went back in the basement and the mom turned around slowly, I was like, oh my God, they're, you know.
They're doing it. But if you listen really closely, vampires.
The vamp zombies.
Vamp zombies.
It's the wrong show.
The vampires have got a noise they make.
Yeah.
They like click. It's
Yeah.
like annoying when
And
you
every
hear
time
it.
they're around, we hear,
Yes.
You hear the heartbeat of
Yes.
them as well.
that's the
Oh,
sign.
right.
Yeah. But even still, we're like, no, she's a vampire, but she's definitely not.
Well, I mean,
We
every
still think
slowly,
she's-
like, you know, little by little, every single person in this show is getting strained. So it's hard not
Yeah, I
to.
feel like they're the only 4 people left now. Besides everyone who's running manic on the streets,
know.
they're like the only 4 or 5 people left that are
Yeah,
still
It's
not
like if you
running.
can't beat them, join them. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, get it together, guys. Just
I didn't think they were going to find the master so quick and end up down that tight hole, which was my worst nightmare, to be stuck
In a
like
tight hole?
Vasily in the tight underground hole where I can't move and a vampire's coming up next to me. No.
Earlier, Johnny's like, that was a tough time in a tight hole.
Exactly.
What is it?
Big trouble in a tight hole.
Big trouble in a little
And
while.
call out to, I feel like The Exorcist, when they showed the vampire coming after F, I think, was coming after F, and he was like,
No,
and it was
Val-
like very...
It was my nightmare of Vasily.
When
a
he
big
Vasily
man
got
with small
stuck in
head
Okay,
space.
okay, it was
can't do
scary,
that.
but I thought that looked super Exorcist-y, and I was like, you guys are
What did
totally
we say?
taking a
Put the
page.
UV, like, if you're going that way and you're trying to run away from things,
Yes.
why is your UV light facing that way?
Yeah.
Put it behind you, so they
Right.
try and crawl up behind you and they get sizzled.
Well,
Once
because
again,
they want us to be freaked out and, you know, on the edge of our
We
seats.
mentioned one other thing is that Abe got to have some good hammer time
Yep.
when he got pissed when the master ran away after the UV bomb. He got so angry that they let him get away that he's like, I'm gonna fuck up this Holocaust coffin.
What did Jack was
There was
like,
like 60 years
Yeah.
of rage just unleashed on that
Yeah.
coffin. He went in. Where did that hammer come from? Just wondering. Because I didn't see anyone carrying a hammer.
good point.
And then all of a sudden
no.
it came up. Anyways, we don't need to focus on that. But he went in hard.
Yeah, he did.
On
I'm
that
surprised
box.
too, guys. I thought he was the together one. He's the one leading the troops. He needs to stay
Now,
sane. That
he's
concerned me.
sane, but
Is he
he's
ever
got
been
that
sane?
thought.
He's
Exactly.
been hunting
Yeah.
vampires for 60 years.
Well, this one vampire,
that's
and he
true.
got face to face with him, and then how pissed he got at Vasily for letting him go.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
why did you throw the bomb? Why
Yeah.
did you let him go? Because he was about to kill our
I know.
friend.
No,
Of course we
absolutely.
got rid of
I
the
think that
bomb.
at this point we're really starting to see a lot of like character development and arches and like different parts of these characters
Their
that we haven't seen
personality,
before.
their
Their
actual
personalities,
motives
Yeah.
which
instead
is
of what
like
they're just
it's
saying.
exciting, you know,
Yeah,
like
it
it's
is getting
exciting
interesting.
because we're almost at the season finale. But you guys, tonight we have some really big news to share with all of you that you're going to love, so you're going to want to stay tuned. Yeah. But you have to wait for it because, you have to wait for it because we have to first answer some of your questions. On Twitter, you guys can hop on and ask us or comment on the episode or about your theories and speculations using the hashtag TheStrainAS. For the Strain After Show, we're always online, but right now we want to point out some awesome ones that we've already gotten. The first one comes from @Dr. Orosin. How is it that Vasily never gets a worm on him, even though
Rebar.
rebar
It's the
head
big
bashing,
bomb.
it's obviously messy?
Yeah, I know.
I mentioned that earlier as
Yeah.
well. When Gus rugby tackles his
Yes.
brother, it's
Brother.
like,
Yes.
nothing happens to get a little worm on you, but he can cuddle him to the floor
Right.
and then like start
fine.
destroying him with a
And-
baseball bat.
Absolutely, and that's such a good point, Jack, because when Nanny McPhee's daughter smacked the
Right.
tongue, smacked it. It was like, whoop. Yeah.
Just slid right off of
And
him.
he's like literally rolling around on the floor with his brother
Yeah.
and nothing happened?
The worm, like whether or not you get a worm on you from even being near it has been really
Inconsistent.
played in a lot of
back
directions.
and forward. Yeah, for sure.
Because I'm always like, you're gonna get a worm! And they're like, no big deal.
They're like, no, they like grab the tongue and then they're like, hell no! And
You get worms right now?
Yeah. But no, great question, because we had to talk a little bit last week about consistency. And so awesome question, because we're all wondering the exact same thing.
Yeah.
The next question, hi, I can't talk tonight. The next question comes from @jcomer41. Do you think when the master said, embrace your glorious destiny to Kelly, he could have meant his bride? That's a wonderful question.
I hope that would be so cool.
He definitely meant something. He treated her real special.
Because like I said, I
ring.
don't think Kelly, I think there's something coming up with Kelly.
Of
I
course.
don't think Kelly's gonna die or there's something about Kelly.
Kelly's
No.
definitely not gonna die.
Thank you.
Things you
Some-
learned from the book.
Ding.
We'll catch up later.
Jump in anytime. Anytime.
A lot has changed since I did this.
This is why I don't
but-
read the books, it ruins the show.
Yeah.
Well, they've actually. I've been re-listening to the second book because it's interesting.
You don't
and I
even
wanted
read
to
the
know.
book, you listen to
I
the
like
book.
I like to read with my ears as an unabridged audio experience.
That is the best
Unabridged,
way
Jack.
I've ever heard that be pronounced.
But yeah, no, good question, because that would be wonderful if Kelly became like that connected to the master.
Yeah, she became like his...
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next question comes from @newmoby. You're awesome on Twitter, by the way. Thank you so much. Asking, who would you want to lead the vampire killing team? F, Abraham, or Gus?
Or Vasilis.
No,
Or
Vasilis
Vasily.
is just your brute. He's your muscle.
Vasily.
He's like your
Vasily.
Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like kill, or like pick up, or like destroy.
No,
I want him to
That's,
lead.
you know what? That's a tough one.
No, Abraham. He's got all the experience in
Abraham
it.
lost
Abraham.
his crap, man.
No,
Abraham.
Abraham has
I'd
been
say
living
Abraham.
it. He grew up,
Yeah.
up watching the
Okay.
master, like...
He built the
history.
He
coffin.
was the one who did it. Of course you want him to
Okay,
lead.
real quick, can I just lay this? Can I lay this on the table without you guys getting mad at me for a second?
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. Ephraim.
Ephraim is the best
Ephraim.
choice.
It's the couple name of the week. Abraham does know the most about the vampire and the master, yes. But how long can we trust his heart? Because every single time he's gotten into a really stressful situation, something happens with his heart. I would be terrified.
True, he's too old.
He's too
Obviously,
old.
guys versus girls. Not Abe, pro Abe.
Yeah, but you know why? Because he keeps his heart pills in
Exactly.
his pocket.
He knows what
Thing
he's
I know
doing.
from the book
Okay, but what-
in your face. He keeps the heart pills in his pocket.
What about Gus? I'd be down for Gus tonight.
I would be down
Gus
for
is
Gus.
too pretty. Gus is
also
too
just
pretty
like
to
Vasily.
lead it.
He's like there to slash
Yeah,
and
they're
kill.
like-
No,
not
but
to
yeah, in that way, yes. Gus kills easily. I agree with that. But he's also a little more level-headed, because when the UV bomb finally worked and Vasily with his perfect teeth gave that
Gave his
creepy
grin.
look, that's when I was like, ugh.
Well, what
he's
was
so
funny about it is
creepy.
because when they were building it right at the beginning quickly, F was saying, like, why don't you make it flash like it? And he was like, oh, why don't I play some music and fix up a fog
Yeah.
machine and turn it into a disco for him?
Yeah.
And he throws it, it starts flashing, and
And
then
he
it
just
works,
loved
and he's
it.
like, fuck.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, you guys, for tweeting in your questions. Remember to keep tweeting us, and we'll be online after the show and all week up until next week, which, by the way, happens to be the best day ever, because starting next week for the next 2 weeks.
Drum roll now? Drum roll now? Can we do the drum roll now?
Yeah. But you have to wait. No, I'm just kidding. I'm actually going to tell you. So we only have 2 episodes of The Strain left. Starting next week, for the next 2 weeks, we have actual members from the cast of The Strain joining us. They're going to be Skyping in and talking with us about their characters on the show, what it's like to film, what they think about the show, and maybe we can get some spoilers out of them for season 2. But next week we have Shailene Garnett, who, if you guys remember, played Nanny McPhee's daughter that got her head blown off by the
She's
strain.
at home being like, who is Nanny McPhee? And what are they talking about?
Yeah, Neva. Sorry.
I like Nanny McPhee better.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, we live in Nanny McPhee.
Yeah, I stopped calling Abraham Grandpa after like 6 episodes of the after show, so I have to get that one out of my head. Thanks, it's your fault. But yeah, so she'll be joining us next week. Obviously, she had such an epic death scene, and she was in the only episode that we have seen the SWAT vamps, which I think is so exciting, because because maybe we can pick her brain a little bit for that. And then the following week, which also, I'm getting so excited I can't talk. The following week, which also happens to be our season finale of The Strain, we have the one and only Robert Mayette, who is the master. He is coming on to the show as well. He's Skyping in. If he was on the show, I think I'd be like,
How fun it would be if he comes on like, the Skype in makeup. We all just shit ourselves.
And he's like, we're like, oh, we'd like to ask you a couple of questions. He's like,
And Stephanie's like, sorry? Sorry? What was that?
yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah.
We're trying to do a show
We need
here.
a translator for her.
Maybe we should like go back and like clip all of the master's scenes and ask him to tell us what he was saying.
Exactly.
But no, we're so excited to have them both joining our show. This is such a great way for us as a Strain fandom, if you will, to pick these characters or these cast members' brains about their very interesting characters. Obviously, the master's got a lot to share, but Shailene had this great scene that I'm really excited. So.
Well, they're also the ones we don't know that much about. We haven't seen as much yet. We don't know the past of the master, so we can see what we can get out of him.
Yeah.
and I want to know what it's like on set at The Strain,
Yeah.
and how much of the script that they got, and what they know and what they don't know.
Right.
Who puts on
And-
F's toupee?
Yes, where is the wig
Puts on
styling
F's toupee.
station? Because that toupee is
Where did the
moving
rings come
and
from?
grooving.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Lots of questions to ask. Ephraim's wig being number one.
That is the most
But-
important thing.
Yeah. But honestly, you guys should also get online and tweet so we know kind of what you want to know from them as well, so we can kind of be asking the same questions, right? So the hashtag is TheStrainAS for The Strain After Show. So yeah, what's next? Oh, back to YouTube. Okay, so you guys, if you guys all subscribe to theStream.tv's YouTube channel, that's where you'll see all the clips that come out during the week, and that's where you can also weigh in with your comments and questions. So that's awesome.
It's just easier because then you don't have to go searching for us like I know you all do.
Yeah.
It just comes up right on your YouTube page, like
Right.
right when you open YouTube.
And like the reason why we're talking so much about this is because at this point we only have 2 episodes left, and you guys are starting to really catch on to things that's making me think about
Way more
all
than
these
us.
series.
Yeah.
Like,
I
we
know,
can get
it
you guys up
blows my
here, we'd be in
mind.
your position.
No, absolutely. It blows my mind. We're always like, in backstage too, we were like, how is he always spot on? I know. How does he always know?
And I feel like sometimes the tweets come through before it actually happens on the TV. I'm
I
like,
know.
there's no way you just...
Yeah.
That's how you predict it. No, just kidding.
Yeah, that's how we get everything.
Awesome. Yeah, so definitely, like, keep sending them in because we love to hear it. And go ahead and hop online too on the actual YouTube video and comment on there as well. And we will see you guys next week with Shailene joining us also.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks, Jack, for joining us again.
Yeah.
You're welcome, guys.
Okay.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
We're
Love
gonna
you all to pieces.
No, continue by all means. How great we
Yes,
are.
Stephanie,
and
please,
so
produced
great.
it.
you're
us?
done. Your moment is over.
No, I was gonna say let's introduce you to our what we do at the end of every show.
All right.
He knows.
The Get Strained?
Yeah.
You ain't going to introduce
Okay.
me, honey.
Okay.
I know how to get strained. Don't worry
Yeah.
about that.
I know how to get straight.
You're like Nora, and she's like F. You guys just have crazy chemistry.
Don't even know.
Count us down. Count us down.
Yeah, count. You can
Oh,
count
I
us
have to count this down?
Yeah.
Right, ready?
All right, we'll see you guys next week. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
3, 2, 1.
Get
Strained.
straight.